Everybody, hello. Welcome to Watching the Elite Live. It's me, Frank. I'm here with Chuck. He's in the corner somewhere.
I'm in a closet.
We need to work out how we can make you seen when we do this
stuff,
Chuck.
Frank, you're absolutely right. I'm in a closet. If I can figure out a way to be able to record not in the closet, then I can be seen.
I love this idea. I think this is a positive movement for the show. So yeah, if you're new here, Chuck and I, we do this other show. It's called This Is Awesome. We watch the greatest wrestling matches of all time, chosen by you, the listener. But sometimes we do this show. Our pandemic schedule's been a little off lately, but we're glad to be back.
It's hard, Frank. Life's hard.
Life is hard, but for like the next hour, let's just talk about All Elite Wrestling. We watched Fyter Fest, both parts of it. We watched Dark this week. We watched BTE, and we want to talk about it with you. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. Let's go to the slides.
Go.
Awesome.
Yes.
As always, I want you guys to help me out with audio levels and stuff. Can you hear Chuck? Is the music too loud? That stuff be awesome. Bitsol, Sir Samuel, the Los. Los, also thanks for the host, man.
All right. Yeah.
Glad to have you all here so quickly. It's very, very sweet of you to come back since we've been gone for like a couple weeks.
True.
But yeah, going into BTE, I just want to kind of get into the highlights here. The running gag of Uno selling being hit in the face with paper.
Yes.
It's very good.
Are you loving all of this Dark Order stuff? Like, it's definitely making them goofier, but it also is adding depth to the character.
I'm ready for them to be goofier.
Yeah.
Because they can't be the deep dark cult all the time, and I think this is also like a bit of like the shift on television too. Mm-hmm. I feel like maybe those original Dark Order vignettes, like that they did on well, not the original ones, the Mr. Brody vignettes didn't go over huge.
Sure.
I think they were good at establishing the character, but I don't think they ever were particularly great. I think the shift that they're making right now is a very positive one. At least even if it's just for this storyline right now. Also, like, Uno and Grayson are really funny.
Oh yeah, I mean, even since back in their Super Smash Brothers days, you know, like they were Chikara tag team who would like literally pause the video game they're playing, you know.
And then like Uno's like heel turn was great too on the indies as well, because there's great promos and stuff. But there's always like some goofiness to it, and I
absolutely
and maybe it needed to start serious. Maybe it needed to like hang out for like literally like a year for it to actually.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it crazy that they just like didn't jettison it? Like that they're just like, let's find a way to make this work, and it's only got like better and better. And like I think the Mr. Brody vignettes were like a bit of a hiccup.
Yep.
But like it definitely got better.
They're walking that fine line between like creepy cult leader and kind of like wacky jobber stable, and it's starting to work. And I just love that, like you said, that they're willing to commit to something and they're going to see it through to the end, and they're not just going to give up on something immediately, which I appreciate.
Yeah. And even if it's just them like selling for paper,
right?
So yeah, if you haven't seen BT this week, you probably should. Matt Jackson dying since the Chili's is not open in LAX.
He wants his baby back ribs, Frank.
Yeah. Oh, these boys. We got some returns of the Where Do You Think You're Going plus a merch freak in the same scene.
What? Okay, we haven't been on the air in a while, and I'd love to hear what everyone's thoughts are in the chat. What are we thinking of the dead ass bit that we're doing? Dead ass, and it freaks out. Private Party, they go running away like every time. I feel like it's one of those inside jokes where like
it's their undead fight. They took the turn of phrase dead ass, and then they had their fight bit where they were attacked by an undead man.
Got it. Okay. So,
I think that's the connection.
Very rarely does this show go over my head. And I feel like these segments, I'm just completely lost. Yeah, this must be what it's like when a new viewer drops in on Being the Elite.
It must be even worse for a new viewer jumping in on our show, where we talk about this stuff. We talk about something that's inaccessible to start with, and make it less accessible by talking about it.
Oh boy!
All right. So Benigno Bodega's back.
Great.
Okay. So Chuck really hates the gimmick.
I do.
Chuck really hates the gimmick. I think it's not very good. I thought this was the best of them so far. Eh? This was the best version? This is like the best Benigno Bodega bit? Because, you know.
Look, I mean, yeah. I mean, you're damning with faint praise, I think. But, like.
I'm looking for something.
Yeah, no, look, it's fine. Like, I like the no refunds bit, but it's just, I don't think they're going to win me over with this one, Frank. I don't know.
No, I don't think this is a winner. The tag team quiz is my nomination for the best part of the episode.
Really? I have a different nomination. That's interesting.
Is it the washer?
That's good too. No. For me, it's Trent's mom Sue joining the Dark Order.
Yeah,
is 100%. But
it's a really good episode.
Very, very good episode. I really, really liked this bit a lot. Like, I mean, Cutler and Avalon, we've been saying it for weeks, have some of the best chemistry in this entire company. I'm just so happy for these guys. Yeah. Like,
I kind of feel bad for John Silver and Alex Reynolds because they were the jobber tag team that was meant to get over.
Right. Well,
and they're great. I think they're fantastic. I bet they'll be like the first guys to leave the Dark Order, in my opinion.
100%. And I like their bit right now as well, like being the sort of like the ground level recruiters, you know?
Yeah. Emperor, hello. Alex Savage, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it.
Hey.
Bring your mom to the cult day, says the Lowe's.
It's so good. It's so good.
That's very good.
That entire segment, just like Orange Cassidy doing the old cat gimmick of pushing the cup off the edge of the table. Chucky T bringing back the was it spooky? What does he call them? Like spooky guys or spooky perverts? That's what it is.
Yeah. So I'm also glad to see Chuck and Trent like hitting full force on the show. Because like this has been a long time coming. I'm glad to see them on more often. Because, like, both those guys are really funny. Chuck Taylor, in particular, I think is one of the funniest guys in wrestling, and we haven't got to see how good he is in every way yet. Though, you know, we're going to talk about a match that he had.
Yes, we will.
That, you know, makes a very good case for how good he is. But the tag team quiz was really funny. There's no crowd. There's only Austin Gunn.
Frank, I died. I died. Oh, my God.
So funny. The washer, he's a janitor. It's a serious gimmick. He had those cool glasses. What are those called?
He's got extensions in. He's serious.
Yeah, he's a janitor. It's a serious gimmick. He's gonna kill you. He'll shoot, murder you.
That's possible. This is BTE.
Yeah, Hangman's belt as well.
Yeah, what do you do with that belt? I don't know, man.
Yeah. I also like seeing him with the Bucks again too. Because they're cooling off that angle like a little bit.
Right. It seems like we're having to slow play a lot of stuff because we're in the middle of this crowdless environment, and they're really hoping that they can kick the can down the road on a bunch of storylines and
I don't think
resolve
they're even
them.
Kicking the can. I think they're just doing a really great job of pacing them.
That's fair too.
If we paid off Hangman by this point of the year, I'm not sure it would have worked. I think there are people who maybe thought it was going to happen, like Double or Nothing.
Right.
But I honestly think it was going to be saved for All Out anyway.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we're on the road. Well, I mean, I was going to say that we were leading to a Bucks and Hangman Kenny rematch, but now I think it's going to be more of an FTR Bucks thing. But I do think that eventually this team
too.
Right. Yeah. This whole thing's going to come to a head here soon.
Yeah. So yeah, any other bits on the show that like grabbed you?
I did like the Beaver Boys when they turned down the offer, when Chucky T and Trent turned down the offer to join the cult. He just yells "piss," which made me laugh.
That's my bit.
Yeah. And then once again, like Hangman, you know, doing the emotional heavy lifting, just a really poignant final scene. You know, like I love you, but I don't like you. You don't like me. You know, just it's a nice little moment. You know.
Yeah. That particular bit, I was just like, it's one of those ones where it's just like, put it on TV, but you can't because you're running a pay-per-view over 2 weeks.
Right. Well, and also you can't have like 30 seconds of dead air while Hangman, you know, goes through 1,000 emotions before he leaves a room, you know?
That's true. One Sweet Chuck, thank you so much for the tier 3 sub.
Wow.
Holy shit. Thank you so much for 15 months. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, Sir Sam likes the Christian AF bit. Yes, very good.
I think it's I love it too.
The Bucks, they're innocent AF, you know?
Yeah, it's very good.
It's a great shirt, too. That might be a shut up and take my 20.
Yeah, it's a good shirt. It's a real good shirt. But I can't stay on BT for too long because we've got literally 2 episodes
it's jam-packed.
to get through. I'm going to go to Dark.
Yes.
Emperor Frankie's accent gets you every time. Me too. It's super funny.
Has anyone figured out if he's supposed to be a specific old-time wrestler or just a generic old-time wrestler? I'd love to see in the chat if anyone has any theories on who he's channeling, if it's someone specific.
Is it just like he's just taking the Bob Holly bit like a little bit further?
Well, they suggested that his voice sounds like Honky Tonk Man's shoot interview, which made me laugh. But I'm just curious because like he's referencing a lot of actual wrestlers, so like I'm thinking that,
Sir Sam thinks corny.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe.
All right. So AEW Dark. I'll be honest. I didn't watch all of it.
Yeah.
I had a lot of wrestling to watch this week to catch up to do the show. However, the biggest thing on the show is Brian Pillman Jr. getting his shot. I believe he has asked for his release from his MLW contract.
There's some static there because I know MLW said that, they've made him aware of his contract status. He's free to explore other dates as long as he, meets his contractually obligated bookings. I'm wondering if this is going to get messy before it gets resolved.
Dude, MLW contracts are just like, you've been signed to MLW and they don't guarantee you any dates, it seems. So like,
right. It's like
again, I'm just some guy who reads Reddit. So
right, yeah, but it seems very like Lucha Underground to me that they're like trying to keep guys in forever deals.
Yeah, while they can't work as well, like
right.
Yeah. So Sean Spears' theme song's growing on me.
Oh, it took this long. It took this long. Wow.
Took a little bit. The black glove gimmick. What do you think about it?
Oh, I love it, Frank. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
I love it.
I know it's your thing.
It's the best. It's great that it's basically Tully is. It's gonna be one of those things where it's like, the black glove was inside you all along, Sean.
Yeah.
Like eventually he's not gonna need it anymore.
Yeah. Also, I point this out all the time. I like my old guys to wear suits. Tully's the best looking old guy on the roster. Love the suit and mask gimmick.
I love the ascot that gets pulled over and becomes a mask, and I think he should keep that look going forward. I think it's cool.
I think it's great. So there's some stuff that happened. So talking just purely about Brian Pillman Jr., who I believe has only been wrestling for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Dude is doing so much better than he was before. I've seen some of his MLW stuff. I think some of his MLW stuff was better than this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't think it was a particularly interesting match, but I think he showed a huge amount of potential. What do you think?
He did. I was surprised, especially because he is, well, I mean, at least to us, like wrestling nerds, he's a name. And I would assume that would translate to a larger audience, but maybe they don't think it will, because this was a surprisingly squashy squash. Like, he looked good, but he didn't really get anything in.
So here's the thing that, I mean, I'm sure Taz is just saying stuff on like commentary.
Yeah.
But seeding that like Tully was scouting Pillman as a potential partner for Spears.
Yes.
I'm like, book it. But then at the end of it, he like beats him up. So I don't think it's going to happen. But I was like, that's a very intriguing pairing to me.
Absolutely, especially like, pairing up the older vet with the younger guy. Like it's a classic wrestling storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way they want to go.
Tully as a manager, but
right.
But at the end of it, it's just like, Spears like clocked him with like the loaded glove. Pillman Jr. has like a fantastic look. He looks like his dad. Like,
oh, dude, it is crazy. He looks like he's ready to go. Like he's fully baked. Especially in the ring. Like I don't know about his promo skills.
He needs to wrestle more.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked his work in the new Hart Foundation in MLW with Teddy Hart and David Boy Smith Jr. Like that was a good stable.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Teddy Hart.
Well, yeah. He's a wild card, Frank.
So I know this is like a loaded episode of Dark, but Chuck, were there any other things that like stuck out to you in this episode?
Yeah, I'm looking through my notes here. So Nakazawa, I was surprised. So he went over on the captain, Sean Dean. I thought this was going to be a great opportunity to give one of these enhancement guys a win, and then sort of like set the stage for like more potential upsets, or at least tease them.
No, man. Nakazawa has to like lose in like 2 weeks.
Well, yeah.
On like Dynamite, so he has to have like a win.
Cutler and Avalon have become like the forever main eventers for Dark. They wrestled Dark Order. It was a great tune-up for Dark Order. It was a fun little match. I'm a stan for Cutler and Avalon. I enjoy their work every single time.
Me too. And man, like Cutler has like grown as a wrestler very quickly. Because I know he had that long layoff, and he's only been back in the business for like a year-ish now, right?
Yes.
So like this is great for him. Like anything else that stuck out? Musa? Was that the previous episode?
That was the previous week. I will. So Swole had a squash. Her opponent Chanel something or other has some of the worst gear I've ever seen in my entire life. It is outrageous.
Yes. But the bag gimmick, Chuck.
The bag gimmick. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, Los is right. Nakazawa needed that Fighter Fest rub so we can get the Jabali cameo. Sure.
Yeah.
Totally. Like, it was a nice callback. Yeah. But honestly, like, this Dark was not as good as I thought. Last week's Dark was much better.
Well, that's one with the Bucks, right? On it.
It was no. I don't think they had a match that I remember. I know it was a Lance Archer Pineapple Pete match. The main event was Bucks against Cutler and Avalon. Super fun. Butcher and the Blade like literally almost murdered someone with a backdrop driver. Like really wild stuff. But the one that I just really wanted to quickly say, I don't know about you, Frank, but the one enhancement guy, and I'd love to see if people in chat agree with me, and I think this guy's a star. I'm weighing on this Max Caster fella.
Yep.
Max Caster, I don't know anything about him. Yep. He's got a great look. He moves confidently in the ring. He doesn't seem like the lights are too big for him. I'm in on this guy. I want to see where he goes.
Yep. Great. I agree. For next week's Dark, are you excited that we're gonna get two enhancement talents fighting each other? Because we get Pineapple Pete versus Serpentico.
Someone's got to win, Frank. I'm in.
Yeah. I'm amped. I'm amped.
Do you think they'll bring back that weird Freddy Krueger tag team? Where are they at?
I don't know.
Where's the Freddy Krueger tag team?
Yeah. There's a spot for everyone, literally, because Dark is 10 hours long. But I don't want to live entirely in Dark.
No, we got too much to talk about.
We got 4 hours of Fighter Fest, and I want to do it in like half an hour. I think we can do this.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
So, we've got Jericho on commentary. First matchup. There we go. We've got Jurassic Express, MJF, Wardlow. I took a screenshot of MJF's hideous outfit, but it didn't show up for whatever reason just then.
What a heat magnet. Just wearing shitty clothes.
Even Jericho was healing on his outfit, which is crazy because Jericho wears a scarf all the time.
Yeah.
I have to check out Sugar Dunkerton's interview with Jericho. I haven't done it yet.
I absolutely have to listen to that. I actually just listened to his interview with Luther, which I'll also recommend. Very cool stuff.
Points at head. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey.
Los points out that tag team, the Freddy Krueger guys, are the Capital Vices.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Los.
So that robe is like straight up yucky.
It's terrible.
I feel like Wardlow needs to go like full Naito and wear the suit to the ring, even if he's gonna be wrestling.
I agree.
And do like the slow play taking it off.
Yes.
Like that's like the heel heat magnet.
This Wardlow fella, Frank, we got something here.
Oh, we have a lot in Wardlow, man. His facial expressions are, even the way that MJF is cutting a promo, his facial expressions are hilarious. But, we keep on getting this miscommunication between the two of them. And I wonder when are they going to blow this up? Because I kind of wish they would wait.
I don't want them to blow it up for a long time. They're such a fun pair. Like, they can be a dysfunctional duo for a while.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So I like the... So MJF's promo about beating them over and over and over again, if they didn't win, they were going to look like shit.
Yeah. Yep.
So maybe, like, there's, like, a lot of, like, good heel heat in this, like, Knox getting his attention taken away. Like, there's some good old school wrestling stuff in here. I do like the cut to the bikini girls on the outside, and they ask, who are they? I have no idea.
Yes. They got a lot of good mileage out of the bikini girls during the Nakazawa match when he did like the thong spot. And they cut to a couple of the girls in the audience, and they were just like, "What have I signed up for? I'm an Instagram influencer. Why am I here?"
Why am I here? Oh, I forgot. Jungle Boy's like a cat.
Yes,
He's
Frank.
like a cat.
Love it. Oh boy.
JR said cat again.
There it is.
There
Yes.
it is. So we got a good big boy slugfest with like that nice heel kick by Luchasaurus. Yes. I think Wardlow and Luchasaurus is still a money fight, even though they used it and it's like a mid-card match. But
I mean, they can still like anchor an episode of Dynamite if they build it right.
Yeah, are they like that's a fun hoss fight. Like I understand like Luchasaurus is limited and Wardlow is still relatively new.
Yes.
But like I still feel like they can put something good together. Like if I have to watch Jack Swagger most weeks, give me that instead.
Well, you know what's funny? I was just gonna say like what I'm most excited about with Wardlow is that he basically renders Jack Swagger irrelevant.
Yeah,
which is a good thing.
100%. Some good lines on commentary. He went from Godzilla to Mothra. He's a flying dinosaur.
So good.
Wardlow stumbling in for the pin save. The Wardlow Rana.
Yep.
The double step up Canadian Destroyer. Like the silly kip up spot. It's a fun match. It was a really, really strong opener. It was very bold of them, I think, to open with this match, especially because like these are, a bunch of younger guys, bunch of like lesser known names. But this is how you make stars. You know what I mean? You put these guys in that money slot. Exactly. But yeah, Wardlow loses nothing though. Perfectly protected on the finish. I'm glad that like Jungle Boy had to start winning some matches. And,
yes, absolutely.
And it's long overdue, and I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah.
Losas, can we get like a cat tea?
Oh, buddy.
You're speaking my language now.
Yeah, shut up and take my 20.
When do I get my ProWrestlingTees.com account? You can just get one of those.
Can you just get one of those gimmicks? All right.
Yeah.
Frank, you're the merch freak.
1 second. I got the wrong match here on my slides.
That's all right.
Let me see if
I watching the Elite, baby.
See if I can get the right one. Is this all messed up? I hope it's not all messed up.
Oops, all berries.
Yeah. So we have coming up here, Penelope Ford, Hikaru Shida.
Yes.
Match is okay. So how did you feel about this match?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it to death. I mean,
I was about to say it's great, but like I wanted to like hear what you thought of it first.
Yeah, I mean, this clearly it's Penelope Ford's best match by a country mile. Shida's sort of settling into her role. I think that she might have been a little unsure of like what kind of character she was going to play, but she's doing this sort of like stoic, angry, fiery babyface kind of champion character, and I think it's really working. And I hope that they let her have a nice long run where she, continues to elevate people by having great matches with them. Kind of what Riho did for a little while there.
Yes, I agree. And I worked out why my screenshots are all messed up.
Okay.
So this is me fixing them really quickly.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, you need permission to perform this action. But yeah, in talking more about that match, I love that Chris Jericho put over the Falcon Arrow. I thought that was great. There's some really good lines on commentary in this. Penelope selling Shida getting to the ropes on the camel clutch was really funny. And showed the range that Penelope actually has, which I don't think we'd actually seen a whole lot of before, because she actually does have a really good emotional range in the ring. And
100%. I mean, I think she's fairly new. Like, she's getting better right in front of our eyes. I mean, that's the thing with the women's division, is that they're relying on a lot of like younger and lesser proven talent. And there are some people that are critical of that, and they want, everything to be more polished and maybe they can bring in some veterans. But I think there's something interesting getting to see so many new faces, grow into the roles that they're given.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I like that they're grounding it with like kind of classic like wrestling stuff, where it's just like the scratching, the nail rakes, the stepping on the hair.
Right.
Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel like every week. And I think that's like really cool. And also you've got an audience right now, like they're a captive audience. They're going to behave.
Right. Yeah.
And I actually really appreciate that. So
Wait, Frank, what audience? It's just Austin Gunn.
It's just Austin Gunn. 1 second.
Oh boy.
Got
I love Penelope Ford and her hubby, like her fiance. It's just a great act, you know?
I completely agree.
Yeah, like I was a little worried, you know, like they've had to obviously change direction with Sabian and Penelope Ford. And it looks like the focus is going to be now on, you know, Penelope Ford as a single star with Sabian in support. I think that's great. And I'm interested to see what these two as a double act do going forward.
I completely agree. Yes. Hey, see, I got the graphic up. We finally managed to make it happen. Woo! That was
good stuff, Frank.
Whole ordeal. Also, like Jericho putting over the Brit Angle with the conspirator Aubrey Edwards.
Yes.
JR putting over like the Falcon Arrow. I still love it. Good finish. Ford looked great. Jericho put Ford over huge. Like, what else can I say? Just really well done. So
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like yeah, we've said it all, Frank.
Yeah. So, Chuck. Technique by Taz.
Oh my god.
Cage has absurd thickness. Stops the underhook. Affects the paradigm shift. Like that screenshot showing his neck. Number one, I mean, I'm a sucker for this shit anyway.
Right.
And I love that they had the Technique by Taz thing before he was managing Brian Cage too. Well,
I was just gonna say that it's like we're paying this off. It's set up and there it is, you know.
And like I wonder, chat, is this just for us as wrestling fans? Like, is this what it feels like to be like not pandered to but catered to?
Well, I mean, isn't that what AEW's whole deal is, Frank? I mean, really? I mean, come on.
Oh, we're gonna talk about like a bunch of stuff where I'm just like, oh my god, like Tony Khan really liked going to old ECW shows.
He sure did.
But
any day now, Tony Mamaluke's gonna show up on Dark. Just you wait and see.
Yeah, like, little Guido Maritano's gonna be there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Tracy, just like put Tracy Smothers out there, just do an FBI reunion on Dark just for fun.
I'm here for it.
Jake Hager, I took this screenshot because I love that they put the tail of the tape like on the Tron, and because of like the unique framing for Daly's place, like you can see it at the start of the match. I thought it was really cool. Like the ref holding up the belt in the middle with the tail of the tape up there, the records, just like I love this shit. I love it.
Really cool, real fight atmosphere. Great information on both fighters. Shows that there's attention to detail here. I wish they had hung on this shot a little bit longer. I feel like it goes away so quickly when you're actually watching the live broadcast. But I like this a lot. And I think it's really cool that clearly this was influenced by, I can't remember if it was Twitter or Reddit, but like someone had added Cody that they had done their own mock-up of like an advanced tail of the tape. And he actually replied to them, was like, oh, we're actually doing something that's like this. I love this. Like, so there's a really cool interaction with AEW between the fans and the audience. And then Tony Khan does it as well.
They're actually
exactly.
Listening. Yeah. I actually like this American Nightmare shirt. I think it's pretty
cool.
Good.
Yeah, the Great American Bash shirt. It's great.
Yeah. So, did Jake Hager lose his gear?
I swear I was like, he's in his underwear, Frank. He's literally in his underwear. But here's the thing. He's wearing the same gear in the tail of the tape. So, I don't know what to make of it.
It looks like there's like a pattern on it in the tail of the tape.
Oh, like almost like a belt. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Maybe they had to Photoshop that in.
It looked like he was in his underwear, and it's all I could think about.
Yeah,
it's like he's wearing nothing at all.
Nothing at all. And then they called him Rock Hard Jake Hager. So it's like
that's a rib. Come on.
That has to be a rib. So for a match to have full Cody fuckery trademark.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The sequel to the Dusty finish, they gotta add a manager. You gotta have more. You gotta have more people out there. It's like, remember when when Daivari was just out there, like for the All In match.
Yes.
Just so he could take the cutter.
Yeah, of course.
Like you just gotta have someone else out there. So
I thought this was fine.
I thought the match was boring. I thought Cody did very well. it felt like he was trying to wrestle a match around Jake Hager more than I think anyone has had to. I don't know what the deal here was, because I think Hager has had... I mean, Hager and Dustin was like one of the worst starts to a pay-per-view that AEW's had, and that's
Awful.
not a knock on Dustin, because Dustin's fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Like, and moves so fast, but all of a sudden he's in there with Hager, and all of a sudden he can't go as fast. Like, I thought there were some cool spots in this match, like the German on the floor was good. I thought Hager choking arm was cool, but I'm having real trouble getting invested in Jake Hager as a wrestler, and I'm thinking it's just like, what if Wardlow was in his place?
I mean, it'd be way better. Like he's
Wardlow in the Inner Circle stable. I get that Hager's like an instant heat magnet, because like he does have like legit like go away heat.
Yeah. Yep.
Sir Sam, you're right. He's not a hybrid of Kurt and Brock, because he isn't as intense as either of them. Like,
well, it's
funny.
funny
His
when
intensity
he
he just yells at the camera.
When he's just there as Jericho's bodyguard and backup, it actually works really well. When he just kind of is stoic and he doesn't react to what Sammy Guevara is doing, and he doesn't react to what Jericho's doing, and he's just the straight man. Like, I think that works for him. When you put him into the ring and then you ask him to like affect any kind of emotion or intensity, he has no ability to do so. Yes, and it's very frustrating to see. And like I've been thinking, we've been saying this since his run as like world champion in WWE, where I just never saw the appeal. He's the dullest, most vanilla guy. Like, the only thing I can think of is that JR thinks he's Dr. Death. Like, that's literally all I can think of.
Yeah.
Like, he hears Oklahoma wrestling and he's like, oh, Jake Hager.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, imagine if Jeff Cobb was in that spot.
Dog, don't threaten me with a good time.
Or Brian Cage. All of these guys could have been the Hager, but I don't think he has the instant heat factor or recognition factor.
Sure. And I think that they wanted to sort of use some of his like MMA credibility and add some of that to AEW as well. Like, look, I understand why they did it. But I just feel like it's.
I think it's becoming albatross on the show.
I agree.
And
I hope people don't think that look, we disagree with everything he believes politically, probably. Like, I'm not, but like, I don't
politically, socially, everything.
I can look past all that shit. Like, I hope no one thinks that like I'm like just hating on somebody because I disagree.
Here's the
with,
thing,
like,
Chuck, we've both enjoyed matches with reprehensible human beings in them before. It's
Frank,
wrestling.
we watch wrestling.
Yeah, but man, also in defense of Cody in this.
Yeah.
Cody has grown so much as a wrestler since he went on to the indies. I never thought he was bad in WWE. People thought he was bad, and it's like, no, he isn't bad. It was just like he was put in
3-star Cody.
Yeah, and he was put in uninspiring situations. When he got a chance to like really sink his teeth into an angle, like when him and his brother won the belts off the Shield.
Right.
Like, is huge, right?
Yeah.
But this match, of course, has like your signature Cody bullshit. Peak WCW bullshit at the end.
Yeah.
Like, and like when JR said like the line from like Judas, like, what have we become, with Chris Jericho on commentary?
Oh my god.
I feel like that he was just like, are we WCW now? Like, but
we're not desperately out of time.
Yeah. Like, so yeah, moving on. Cody did a really good job. This match wasn't very good. Darby Allin set his friend on fire. He has a phone booth on his property. That's interesting.
Sure is, Frank.
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh no, he did the backflip and it landed onto the skateboard. That was pretty neat.
It's cool. Yeah, it's some good character building here. I also like that he isn't just cutting promos where he's like, I'm a dark, mysterious man.
Right.
It's like, no, he just like talks like a guy, even though he has like weird makeup on.
That's no gimmick, Frank. That's just who he is.
That's just Darby Allin. But no, for like a while he's doing like the I'm a sick dude, like kind of
right, setting Toyota Camrys on fire.
Yeah, exactly. But now it's just like we're seeing that he's just like he's like goth jackass.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it works.
Yeah. So Santana Ortiz, Private Party, Matt Hardy out there with Private Party again.
Look, I like this pairing. I mean, I'd like to see Matt Hardy doing more for them, whether it's like coaching. Like, he obviously doesn't want to he shouldn't get involved in the matches because
I want to see a vignette with them. That's what I'm missing.
That would be great. Yeah.
Because I want to see the weird way that they interact.
Right. It is such an odd pairing.
Yeah. That seemed to like came out of nowhere.
I did not like this at all.
You didn't like it?
I don't know, man. I mean, it was fine. It was just like, I think there was so much other good stuff on this show that like when this episode of Dynamite was over, like I almost forgot it happened. And I feel bad because like I love Santana and Ortiz, but like for me, this was kind of and they make up for it next week. This is a very uninspired performance from Private Party, in my opinion.
I actually dug the match.
Yeah.
Like there's like some huge parts in there, like that giant power bomb, like the fadeaway bomb in the corner, the cannonball. Like I thought it was like the finish. It was a huge combo. The sling blade backbreaker thing that Cassidy's doing.
That is very cool.
Yeah. Los, you beat me to it. Matt Hardy is like when Michael Hayes was managing the Hardy Boys.
Okay, yeah.
He's even
pretty
wearing the
sexy
same
Matt
gear.
Hardy.
He's even wearing the same gear because Michael Hayes had that like yellow mustard like velvet shirt. When
That's
he was managing
right.
The Hardys.
Yes. Yes.
I forgot about that, but I watched the match recently where Hayes was managing them. Like how is
boy.
Cassidy being 22 and doing the things that he does? I can't wait to see him in 3 years. Like,
yeah, I mean that's what's encouraging. And like, look, like I feel like sometimes I'm picking on them, but I think it's just because I know they can do great stuff in the ring, but I think there is always like I feel like a little bit of static between them and their opponents.
Yeah.
Not so much next week, but
yeah.
I get that sense in this.
I thought
match
they
as
worked well together because like they seemed like they trained together and they actually had some experience as a team. I guess
they did. They told that story well on commentary.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That they're both
Yeah.
from the same wrestling school. They came up together. You know, one was the seniors while the others were freshmen. That was cool stuff.
Yeah, Sir Sam, I'm with you. Private Party need to do some non-AEW matches. They just need to get Miles in.
And you have to assume that, you know, were we not in the middle of this nonsense, that like that would be something they're doing. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of guys that are taking dates right now.
Who knows
in
if
other
they'd even
promotions.
have like a handful of house shows by this point too.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly.
How many specials have we missed as a result of this?
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get any better wrestling a gorilla in their backyard. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
Or whatever that was, some kind of spooky man or something. I don't know.
God damn it. So I guess they're really worried about the momentum of like Private Party, so they got the win here. Matt Hardy having a positive effect. I'm kind of interested in how this will like play out.
For sure.
Allie give me that tentative pat on the back at the end. Was really funny. But Santana and Ortiz looked mad at the end of this, and I'm like AEW does that a bit where people actually sell their losses rather than just like lay in the ring or just disappear like in WWE.
Right.
That's my WWE dig for the week, where people lose a match and then they just like evaporate, like they just won't put the camera on them.
Right. And they should be mad. They lose a lot. They lose a lot. What's the next step for these guys? Because I feel like something's got to give. Absolutely. Well, it's the thing about the AEW tag team division. There's so much talent here, like that. You know that somebody's gonna get lost. You know.
Oh, so I didn't take a screenshot of this, but the not pull apart between Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho was so funny.
Oh, Jericho is working himself up, getting so angry. Yes.
And then you've got like Pineapple Pete looking concerned, holding back Orange Cassidy with complete ease.
Yes.
Is the type of stuff that these shows need. That differentiates you from WWE so much.
Because it shows that these guys like understand and believe in their characters, and that's what it is. You know, this feels like it's a real place. You know, it's a real sporting company.
Yeah, Cassidy kicking over the chair so restrained. It's so funny. It's all good stuff. So Taz and Cage.
Yes.
Taz is a hell of a promo, man.
He's a top 5 promo in AEW. I mean, just like we're well past the days of Rocket Buster. Like this is good shit.
Dude, the sloppy shop line is like brutal.
Yes. No, I sometimes I'm like, yeah, you know, guys don't need to take that many shots, but like this was a great shot. But I really liked it a lot.
But I'll put it out there. AEW should do the plexiglass and they should have people on the outside wearing masks.
I agree. I'll give you the masks, especially just for optics' sake. I actually can't stand the plexiglass. I'm not into it.
I haven't, like, it fades away from me, and I say that as someone who went to Ring of Honor shows at that Toronto venue that was like the ice hockey rink, and I hated that. Yeah, but man, great bit.
I think they can avoid the plexiglass because they're in an open air arena.
That's true. Yeah. I just want everyone to be safe. Wear your
No,
masks.
I agree.
One second. I'm going to stare directly down barrel of the camera. Everybody, wear your masks. All the time.
Yeah.
Like, not in your house by yourself, but any other time, you walk outside, you put that thing on. Come on.
Oh, boy.
All right. Best friends. Hangman and Kenny. We got to talk about it. One of the greatest entrances in the history of our sport.
Oh, Frank. Yes.
Trent making his tough boy face while getting a kiss from his mother.
Oh, my God.
One of the funniest things I have ever seen.
I mean, probably the best vehicle entrance in AEW history. And there's been
they do
many.
a lot of them. And this is a riff on it, which is great.
Yes. Well, I mean, they even set this up. Like Chuck Taylor had mentioned on Twitter that, like, he's like, when do I get to drive my Honda Civic to the ring? Yeah. And like,
and here we are.
Yeah, good shit.
Britt Baker is fantastic. The way that she's used while injured is just astounding. When she because it's gonna be like when she stands up and walks again moment, because that's how this is gonna play out.
Of course.
And hopefully by that point where everything's safe and we have crowds. Sir Sam rather. In the chat, do they just do all the other cars to set this one up? I hope so.
Oh my God,
car was leading at this moment, because that's booking. But man, when Britt Baker stands up, it's gonna be huge. Justin Roberts saying that they were driven to the ring.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna put this out there. We talked about it a little earlier. This is the best Chuck has wrestled in AEW so far. I love this Chuck. This is like the PWG title win Chuck.
Yep.
I still think Chuck can be funnier in ring as he is when he talks, and I still think he can be funnier in promos the same way that he talks as well. Because him just sitting around shooting the shit and tweeting is like funnier than he's usually presented on AEW programming. But like, he looked fucking awesome in this match. He did great. Made me so happy. But what'd you think of the match?
I really like this match a lot. Obviously, these teams have great chemistry. I don't know how many times Hangman's been in the ring with Chuck Taylor and Trent, but obviously, like, Kenny Omega, tons of history here. PWG, New Japan, all over the world. Just like some awesome spots here. I will say I do love how angry JR gets when they go for the hug spot. But I will say this is the one match where it really took me out of the match a little bit. I was like, oh guys, why are we doing the hug spot? I know the internal logic is like, oh, it gives them strength and it's like their unity kind of thing. But this is one of those times where it's like, maybe we don't need to do the spot.
Save
in this
it
match.
for the comedy matches.
Save it for the, exactly.
If you don't do it every time, people will like it more.
And also you're not like, it's not like you're going to disappoint the audience. It's just Austin Gunn. So yeah.
It's
but
just Austin Gunn.
I really, really, really like this. I thought it was a really good main event. It's just Hangman and Kenny are crushing it. Yeah. This is just dominant.
I thought the finish was a little flat, but man, it was great. Like I love the match, and I agree. Hangman and Kenny are just crushing it.
Yes.
I'm ready for Kenny Omega to not be a supporting character, but man, I mean, that's a knock on AEW, right? Where it's like the Bucks aren't main eventing and Kenny's a side guy, but using Kenny this way to make Hangman is so smart.
I think also it's a matter of like your perspective, right? People are saying like, oh, Kenny Omega, he should be the guy you build your company around. He should be in the main event scene. Now, granted, they tend to put the singles title at the end of the show as the anchor, program for the entire show. But Kenny Omega, he's got the most wins of anyone in the company. He's the World Tag Team Champion in a promotion that seems hell bent on elevating tag team wrestling again. So, like, to me, I don't think he's being wasted. I don't think he's being.
Yeah. What better way to use one of your best tag team wrestlers, because he is like like Golden Lovers are one of the best tag teams ever.
Golden Lovers or his old what was his team?
Men of Low Moral Fiber.
Thank you very much. Yes, the Men of Low Moral Fiber. So he and again like they're trying to do other programs with a Moxley. When Jericho was champion, like give him something else to do. This is it. He's having one of the best tag team title runs in recent memory.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right.
I mean, really and seriously, and I'm sure Sir Samuel will have an opinion on this in chat, but like, I think the AEW tag team titles already mean more than the New Japan heavyweight tag team belts.
Yeah.
right? I think they've done a great job of establishing this championship.
The AEW tag belts are the most like important tag belts like outside of Mexico.
Absolutely.
Like, and even then, like the way those tag belts are treated in Mexico is like tag team wrestling is bigger there.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, AEW tag belts, top of the world. I'm gonna fly into Fyter Fest Night 2.
Okay.
You know what? Let's just go straight back into it. Hangman and Omega, they got work to do.
Yeah.
Right?
So the decision was made because obviously the Moxley match was pushed that we had to add another big match to this card, and so it was decided that Private Party, who won a number one contendership or a championship shot, that was going to be on this show. We immediately get this match. And this is what I was saying. Like I was being critical of Private Party earlier. I love this match.
Yeah,
I thought they told a really great story here. That was the best that they've looked since maybe like when they beat the Bucks in that tournament. I don't know. Like there's some really cool stuff in here. Now, granted, again, still some static. Like that double Spanish fly didn't quite work.
Yeah, I thought it was fine, but yeah, you're right. It was like a little bit of static there.
But yeah. I love. Was it Mark Quinn does the plancha from the second rope? Really cool.
Yeah, that's like an awesome spot and looked great. Oh yeah, Sir Sam mentioned like on the previous match we missed the ambiguity of FTR coming out and giving the beer and Kenny pouring it out, and the different ways it could be interpreted, which is like he's kind of being like actually rude. Yeah, like they put it out later. So it's like he could have just said no.
Right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Then thank you, Sam. Like they're still setting up that tension between the two guys. Like these are just two different kinds of cat, Frank.
And also, FTR is just like the most ambiguous team in the company right now. We just have no idea where they stand.
I love it. Frank, they're professionals. I think that's what's a really cool, the approach they're having. They're not good guys. They're not bad guys. They're professionals. They only care about the tag team titles. They're there to win. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Los. Brett's rope, well utilized. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would agree with you on this match. Like, I think it's better than the other Private Party match from the previous week for sure. I mean, they're in there with Hangman and Kenny Omega. There's a lot more gravity to it, by virtue of like how well we know these characters. Yeah, I thought it was a really good match. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, to be entirely honest. It was just like, wow, another great match with a good story.
I will say I did like, and it's actually similar to the last match where they didn't go overboard on the false finishes. It seems to be a trend with Kenny Omega and Hangman's tag team matches, and it's the same thing here. And this was yet another time where the team won mostly because of Hangman. And that seems to be a running theme with this tag team, which is like many of these matches end with Hangman going solo and getting the win.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, I think Hangman's gonna feel like he already referred to them as my belts in the promo in the previous week as well. So,
but I love the thought that's put into all these matches. You can tell that they show up to work and they go, okay, before they even start talking about spots or doing cool stuff or any of that stuff, they're just like, what story beat are we telling with this match, and let's go backwards from there.
Yeah. Sir Sam pointed out that Kenny drinks hard milk. Tara Shanae, don't give the Mike's hard milk would be the worst beverage.
Hard milk. It's unpasteurized.
Oh, imagine just like
boy.
A milk malt beverage.
Oh dear.
Yucky.
I mean, you could drop some Kahlua in that milk, you know?
That's
some
fine.
bourbon cream. Why
even
not?
Vodka.
Yeah. A little White Russian.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Joey Janela gets squashed by Lance Archer in a really entertaining way.
Yeah. So I said this on Twitter, so if anyone's seen our feed, I'm kind of repeating myself, but I'll say it again. I think outside of Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, which is arguably a squash, I think this is the best squash match I've ever seen.
Because
super
Janela
entertaining.
Rallies.
Yep.
It forwards the relationship between Sonny and Janela a lot. Janela coming to Sonny's aid, Sonny being used as a weapon by Archer, which I thought was really funny.
Very funny.
I loved the interference spot because at that point they deserved it as well. Like Archer deserved it. Janela is undone by his own thirst for destruction. He got too worked up, put that table out there, tried to grab that chair. I'm gonna go back to my old guy fashion because this is a running bit for me.
Sure.
I want Jake in a weird snakeskin suit with like big boots.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Even in this, in that
Florida
heat,
like,
Frank.
I want him to look like a horrible man who lives in Las Vegas.
Well, I mean, you're already halfway there. He doesn't live in Vegas, but
yeah. So, Sonny's great on the outside.
Yep.
Fantastic as a manager for Janela as well. That 450 for Sonny Kiss looked amazing too. JR loves Janela and he loves Sonny Kiss, and I
was
love
just gonna
that.
say that.
I love that. I love that JR's like the vigor with which like JR calls Sonny the Concrete Rose is.
Yep.
When JR buys in on these new guys, it makes my heart sing. Also, like JR on night 2 was firing like on all cylinders. He was doing a really great job. Night
usually
1,
takes a little while to get warmed up. He needs to get warmed up.
Yeah. But yeah, I love cutting Jake laughing on the finish too. It's all good shit. All good shit.
What and I want to hear everyone's thoughts in chat as well, but like, how does everybody feel about AEW's, like, it seems like the rules are like, they use like hoisted on your own petard rules. So it's like, if you set up a table and use it, that's a DQ. But if you set up a table and it's used on you, it's okay. Like, what do we think about that? Like, does it make the officials look bad? Are we doing some gray area? Like, a lot of people criticize New Japan for its officiating, that the refs are too lenient. I know the logic with the New Japan is that like they want to see clean finishes. That's put over, that's why they give them a long leash. That's not quite the same in AEW. So I don't know. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, I think it's the hoisted rules. I think it works. I think it's fine. Like, rather than having to search for an elaborate setup, and also some refs being more lenient than others, I think is fine.
Yeah.
I think once we start designating who those refs are, I think that would be, it's like, oh man, Reggie's here. This one, Reggie doesn't throw out a match for no reason. Like,
that would be cool. Well, apparently, Aubrey is one of them, because something happens right in front of her face in this show, and she does nothing. I was a little annoyed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Also, they're trying to avoid DQ finishes in general, and I think they want to.
They've had one.
Yeah, I think they want to avoid contrivances to avoid them too.
Sure.
So, unless it's a Cody match, in which case just do whatever. Whatever's fine.
Lo says the table wasn't in the ring, so that helps. That's true. I mean, I don't mention when people go into the railings and stuff. Like, I guess if it's outside the ring, that's just part of the mise en scène.
Yeah. At the end of the match, with like Jake laughing and clapping and JR playing like Lance Archer as a threat to all belts, selling Jake getting Lance back on track as well in the match. Really sharp commentary, very smart stuff.
Yeah.
So I was actually talking a little bit on the Discord. So if you're on my Discord, we have a wrestling channel in there. I was chatting with my buddies in there, and we're talking about, where do you send a monster like Lance Archer when he's not a monster anymore? Like, once the monster has been slain, like, what do you do with this guy, with this character? And I'm not sure that there's mileage to the way Lance Archer is now, unless it's an odd couple tag team after this.
I was just gonna say, that's the only other move. You do what you used to do in the late '80s in WWF. You take a Earthquake. He wrestles Hulk Hogan. He loses, and then he becomes a tag wrestler.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know what you do with this guy afterwards. I really don't.
Yeah,
but because like Cody already took him down, so.
Right.
Like, you need some stuff like this, but then who's next? Like,
yeah, are
we going straight back to Mox and him again? Because that was a good match in New Japan.
You could definitely do. You'd have to build him up for a little while, like in the rankings. But you could do an Archer Moxley like Dynamite main event.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I just don't know the mileage to Lance Archer, and I think his career renaissance has been fantastic. The way he's reinvented himself and is having the best matches of his career, and is in the best shape of his career. Is
it looks amazing.
In his 40s, it's like great.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Like, he is in his 40s, so it's and especially with the way that the contracts seem to be structured in AEW, I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like him can sort of do a year, have this feud, have that feud, do a tag thing, and then go to like back to New Japan or go to Ring of Honor, you know what I mean, and kind of reset.
Yeah, that might be how they have to do it, and also it's just like, depending on how AEW partners with other promotions, I'm really hoping they get some good like partnership promotions once the world opens back up. Like, the idea of just sending like Lance Archer to Mexico for like 3 months,
Oh yeah,
So,
AAA would be great.
So you don't just have to have him like around all the time, because that's like a big problem where it's just like you gotta get everyone on TV like every week. And I think AEW's being really good about it. It's just like no, like every second week you get sometimes you have to wait for your favorite.
Yeah.
I think that's really good, so you don't have the same people on the show over and over and over again. But it'd be nice to see use of like a territory system. Yeah, exactly. So Sam, disappear him half a year, then he comes back all mad, and then you can just start again.
Yeah. Interesting. Los is saying maybe Mox Archer at All Out. Look, I mean, we've got a long way to go before All Out comes. Like if they put the effort in, they could build up Archer. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to pull the trigger.
I mean, Mox has just been given a parade of monsters though, which is how how these babyface champions have historically been booked, right? Your monster of the week.
Yeah.
I want an opponent that can match Mox in promos, and a guy who can actually go with him in the ring, because I want to see how good he is. I thought his match with Brody Lee was fantastic, don't get me wrong, but I want to see him back in there with a guy like Kenny having a good wrestling match.
This is kind of not to sidetrack us completely, but has anyone suffered more from not having a crowd than Moxley? I do feel like so much of his whole deal was his connection to the audience, and I really feel like some of his championship run has fallen flat because of that.
Well, also it's just like he's being cursed too, cursed by injuries, cursed by his wife's illness, just things haven't quite worked out for him. And if you give him a guy like Jake Hager, it's like, what the hell can he do?
Yeah, it's true.
Empty arena match, that was the reaction it would have got live anyway.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So again, going back to the fact that AEW is just made apparently for us.
Right.
we have the return of the FTW belt, a belt that we haven't heard about since I think 1998.
Yep. Amazing.
So 22-year layoff for the FTW belt. What do you think of this?
I think it's really cool. I think the timing is interesting, and I'm not the first person that said this, so I'm not I hope nobody thinks that I'm not cribbing someone else's thoughts. I just think I thought the same thing, so I'll say it. This feels like something you do after he loses to Moxley, not before. But Tony Khan, he's a great booker, so I'm sure he's got a great idea for how this is all going to work out. So I'm gonna let's see what happens. But that I found that to be a little curious, but I love this. I'm glad it's back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so TRS 1080, it's the Fuck the World Championship belt, where Taz insisted he was the uncrowned real champion at ECW due to some controversy with the belt.
Yeah, so Shane Douglas would basically refuse to wrestle him anymore as world champion. So he was like, well, I should be the world champion, therefore fuck the world.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a deep wrestling cut of deep wrestling cuts.
Yes.
Like this wasn't even the heyday of ECW being the most popular, because it was most popular when it was on TNN, when guys like Taz weren't even there anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny that they're referencing something that is almost part of the ECW lore.
It precedes their run on cable, I think.
Yeah, or national cable for sure.
National cable, yeah.
Yeah, right before they got on the Nashville network, before then Taz would leave. Yeah,
Hardcore TV was still on.
Yeah,
but I like that they've amped up Taz's intro to the Cage song. And Cage's theme sounds hilarious with the pyro. It was just really funny to me. The boom, boom, boom. It's so much.
They've made Cage into a star. He's more over now than he's ever been, I think.
I mean, but look at the guy. If you if you can't make money with Brian Cage, this is the wrong the wrong business for you.
Should be against the law for him to wear a shirt.
Yeah, it's when they when EC3 did do anything in WWE on his return. I'm just he looks like that, and he can cut a promo too.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Matches. How do you not do that? Sure, you got Jinder Mahal as champion, you can.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at TRS 1080. Vascularity.
Oh yeah,
striation.
We're all body guys here. Watching the Elite Life.
Famously body guys.
All right, let's keep this moving, because we gotta hop into a car, a stolen car, inhabited by all of the wacky racers.
This match. Oh my god.
So number one, I'm just glad to see Pentagon back.
Oh,
I miss Pentagon.
And Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix. Stupid, sexy Phoenix.
I I thought for a second FTR's theme was growing on me, but then once the verse hits, I'm still out. I'm still out.
Say yeah, come on, Frank.
But
come
also,
on.
it's like the least enthusiastic say yeah.
It is. It's because
I don't think they
can
do the exact. Yeah, a lot of Mikey
the Butcher
Ruckus
Bros.
Themes, yeah, the Mikey Ruckus themes are sometimes works in progress. I like the vast majority of what he's done for AEW's themes. I think he's done a really great job, especially when I found out like sometimes he just like had to make a song in the afternoon. Like the Inner Circle's Evolution song was apparently like a 2-hour job, and Jericho's just like, just put Inner Circle at the start of it. Like that's all he had.
Oh man, but just so Lucha Bros and Butcher and the Blade. I did not know this was going to work as well as it did, but I mean,
it worked. Again, Butcher has the best looking wrestling.
Oh, without a doubt. Like angry Gelson Shopper Butcher, like just amazing stuff. I can't wait for Pac to come back. I was talking about this on Twitter. Pac comes back. We've got the was it the Pentagon of Death Pentagon?
Death Triangle.
No, but then if you add Butcher and Blade, there's 5.
I hope it's a thing.
Death Pentaveret? What is that a thing? Yeah, I don't know.
I love this teaming, but okay, let's just go story stuff before we get like deep in the match.
Okay, fair enough.
Blanchard and Spears watching FTR. What do you think?
Interesting.
What do you think?
Oh, dude. I mean, did you see? Okay, this is like so. People have been saying this. Cody, Spears, FTR, new 4 Horsemen. Why not? They've been teasing it now for a while.
Because it's Cody and Spears, and they're meant to hate each other.
But maybe they won't. Because Blanchard and Arn Anderson, there's a natural connection there. Have you seen how many times Cody's flashed the 4 fingers? Frank, Cody did the 4 after his fucking Spawn Con with Hot Ones. He flashed the 4 Horsemen logo.
I know. But okay. Let's for a second. Let's keep Cody out there. Let's say he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Who is it? Is it MJF?
As the head, as like the sort of the main guy in a new 4 Horsemen with FTR and Spears?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Lois is suggesting Pillman potentially. That's interesting.
He's so new though. But I would love him in there. Yeah.
I mean,
if Tully leaves Spears, I think there's been like some inklings of that too.
Yep.
Like after the humiliating match that he had, and also Spears looking like kind of mad that he was scouting other people.
Right. And
we kind of cooled off Spears' search for a tag team partner. By the way, I love that I can sink my teeth into stories in wrestling. Like
Oh, it's the best. Yep.
It's
because you know the story's gonna play out logically.
Yeah. And if there's a swerve, they're gonna have a good reason for it.
Right.
Like
right.
Just things happen for a reason. It's crazy. But yeah, Pillman does have the Horseman legacy. I mean, you could go the other way. Like you could, if Kenny turns heel on Hangman, you could just slot Kenny right in there. Like you could do that. Also, Muscle Temple alumni, Zach says Pentafam for the
love it. That's great.
This is very good.
Yeah.
Also, hey Zach, how you doing, man?
Yeah. Hey, what up?
Did you catch the show this week? This is a really good one. Okay, so into the match. This rules. I love the frequent tags. The FTR angle is slowly percolating, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
They worked really well together, and then we're doing like each other's pieces of like the tag team moves because they're clearly scouted each other as well.
Yep.
It's all really smart stuff. Big spots. Okay. The top rope Rana spot was just astronomical.
Amazing. Yep.
And Tony Schiavone is so happy, and JR is putting over Nick Jackson, and I'm just like, oh my god, like this is wrestling in 2020. We're so lucky. We're so lucky that we have like these old guys around still to call this. And
it lends it credibility. Like if you're a new fan tuning in and you're like, oh, JR thinks Nick Jackson's the best athlete pound for pound in wrestling. Oh, well, he must be.
Yeah, I really do. Man, it feels like they're really setting up the future of wrestling right now. Like,
Yep.
I felt like that for NXT, and then when everyone just like died a slow death on like the main roster,
Right.
I realized, oh, they didn't do it. Like NXT is just like its own thing. It's just the indies now, and if you leave, you're just gonna be a guy. You might be a prominently featured guy, and occasionally you might be a main eventer, but it's not like you're gonna take that style and that story and all of that with you.
Right.
You're still gonna be on this bad TV show. Whereas like this, I feel like is just like you've got these old guys there. They're getting their due for their experience in the industry, like the Tully Blanchards and the Arn Andersons, the Jake Roberts and JR and Tony. And then you have them presenting these new guys so the industry's in a better place, when they retire in like 5 years. But who knows? Tony Schiavone apparently has no age, so maybe he's going to be calling matches when he's 400 years old.
I mean, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Would not be surprised. But we've got some great commentary here in chat. Absolutely. Yeah. Saw Ricky Morton giving the match high praise, as he should. And yeah, the story is really, it was focused on FTR and the Bucks, of sort of like the teams kind of one-upping each other, but also working together. Maybe there's a budding respect there. Yeah, but like, I don't know. For me, Butcher and the Blade are real standouts. I know, like, obviously, like, they didn't get to do a lot of the showy stuff, but like, they're so crisp.
I love that they just put Blade in the ring when the finish happened, so we could get like a little bit of the rub.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. He's the one that was like kind of the most of an afterthought, which is unfortunate. But like, he's so good.
He was the glue in this match. He was the glue in it. Like,
yes, agreed.
Yeah, he was helping transition. Just some like little bits of the match that I thought were really fun. Ray Phoenix is like going for the dropkick, then not doing it and slapping him, and then smiling in the camera.
Yes.
Really funny. Matt Jackson just hitting a big scoop slam, I thought was just funny. Like, it seemed like
he did a lot of random stuff. Was this also the match where he was doing like the Macho Man, the elbow drop, and the double axe handles? Like, just wonderful
just, like,
stuff.
Super weird stuff. Seeing the Bucks work together with FTR is so much more interesting than seeing them feuding immediately and just arguing.
Agreed.
Like playing with the expectations of the stuff that we know there's going to be a miscommunication spot, and then afterwards they like still shake hands even though they lose. Yep. Like stuff like that, thought was amazing. Definitely the right winners for the match. Like them just being like dicks at the end, like playing with like the paper bucks.
Yep.
I thought was great. I'm gonna talk about one spot. Well, actually, there's two spots. There was the double, the frequent tag spot, so they could all be in at the same time, so they all just tagged each other.
Very
fun.
So
they could do that superplex with like the splash and everything. I thought that was great. The step up Canadian destroyer over the ropes into a pile of people is maybe the craziest spot I think I've ever seen.
I mean,
like, how do you come up with that? How do you come up with that?
I think it's time to retire the Destroyer. We finished it. That move is done.
Yeah, like Petey Williams could go look at this and just be like, "Look what I contributed to the industry."
Yeah.
Other than being a really funny and great wrestler, I love.
Well, of course, but like, yeah, that was probably the wildest spot that's been on TV in this company.
And it looked great too, because that could look really stupid, and it still looks like he did a pile driver into a pile of people.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just shows you, like, Nick and Phoenix have the most chemistry of maybe any two guys in the company.
Yeah.
Like, I could watch them wrestle one-on-one over and over and over and over and over again forever.
We're so lucky. Because, like, each of these guys is, like, a singles. Like, maybe not Butcher and Blade. I feel like Butcher as a singles can work. Blade, we need to just, like, work out who he is, because he's definitely a good enough wrestler. Don't get me wrong. He's awesome.
He's wrestling for a very long time. Yeah.
He's fantastic at it. It's just, like, we don't have a full sense of his character in the way we do for these other, like, big characters.
Well,
like,
I think ultimately when the QT Marshall story runs its course and Allie ends up back with Butcher and the Blade, I think that'll be good for them, you know?
Yeah. By the way, I was glad to get, like, a kind of 2-week reprieve from the QT Marshall experience. I like QT a bunch.
I mean, I hope he's okay, right? I never heard the follow-up. I know he was worried that he had been exposed to someone with coronavirus, so he took some.
Oh, is that why he's not there?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Now I feel bad.
No, don't feel bad. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like, we needed a break from that story, I think. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I hope everything's cool there. Yeah. I want to say one last thing about.
I think QT's hilarious and really very fun. And
absolutely.
The first time I saw the QT special, I like died. It was like awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. But I do want to say for FTR, like, I'm so impressed with how good these guys are. I mean, we all knew that they were a great team, but like, think about the amount of pressure that's on them. So their entire gimmick is we're the best tag team on the planet, right? And for the last 2 years, they've basically not been allowed to actually wrestle. Like they've been, put in this shitty position of either being geeks or enhancement guys or not on TV at all. And so now they have to show up to AEW and actually do the work.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. They're doing it. And they look super confident and they look ready to go. And it's just amazing to see, they said it and they are.
Yep.
And it's amazing.
Yeah. I'm glad, also it's just it must be hard for those guys. They haven't wrestled in a really long time. They must feel great, but also it's just and they haven't been able to just wrestle some matches to kind of get ready.
Yeah.
So,
Los mentions that they've been pushing the Ali Brandy Nightmare Sisters story on on Dark and some of that stuff, and they absolutely have. Yes, that's still been going. We didn't talk about it earlier, but and I think that's really interesting. Although I do think it's odd that they're pushing a female tag team without a female tag team division, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Hey, people can just be friends. Wait, why did BTA just come up? My screenshots, where did they go?
Uh-oh.
Where's Frank's screenshots?
Piss!
Yeah, exactly. Let me see where's my screenshots? I gotta see him. Okay. I'm just gonna delete all the old ones and then just make it do its thing.
I want to talk about this handicap match.
Yeah. Let's make this happen. Let's see what I can make happen here. Oh yeah, because we got the Nyla Rose in action.
Yeah. Were you surprised that Kenzie Page, she has that mean girl gimmick. She's been on Dark a couple times. First of all, I can't believe how invested I am in a lot of these enhancement players, because usually they're nobodies, but maybe it's just because I have to invest in them, otherwise Dark will be impossible to get through. But but I was a little surprised, and chat, let me know if you disagree, but I thought of all the enhancement women that Kylan King was one of the ones that kind of came off looking the best. She was very polished and she has a look and she's tall. I thought it was strange that she was one of the people chosen to feed Delilah in a handicap match. There was other people you could have put in that position and kind of protected her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get where you're coming from. Though at the same time, I don't think anyone, usually when they do stuff like this, it's they're gonna rehabilitate them in some way, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Screenshots back. Oh my god, life's so hard.
It is.
Oh, TRS 1080 didn't even see the NXT run of the Revival.
Oh wow. Okay, TRS 1080. Please do yourself a favor. The DIY
match
versus the Revival. AOP and DIY and the Revival triple threat. Ladder match is incredible. Oh, the Revival against Gable and wow, why am I blanking on his name? American Alpha.
Yes.
Look them up. They've had some incredible matches.
Yeah.
Sir Sam, stop watching this. I mean,
hey, there's some good matches out there you should watch.
There are.
So I got to speed run this. Let's make this happen.
Right.
Enhancement match. There's a enhancement match. Nyla has a manager. Is it Taz?
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. There's some speculation that it might be Awesome Kong. There's speculation that it might be Vicky Guerrero.
I feel like Awesome Kong, that's a great call.
Yeah, I mean, if she's retiring and she can't work in the ring anymore, then absolutely.
And then maybe she can get one last match with
right.
Nola.
Yeah.
Cool. So Colt Cabana legitimately, that's a real hematoma. That wasn't makeup
amazing.
Or anything.
They just wrote it into the story.
The fact that he worked is insane.
Yeah.
So I think I've put Colt over every week since he's been on AEW. Seeing how good Colt Cabana is, he has a story and a character, and that he can wrestle. Just so long overdue.
Nobody deserves it more.
No one knew how to use this guy other than Ring of Honor for a little bit when he was really young.
Yep.
And then now. And he looks great. He's wrestling great. His character's fantastic. This story makes sense. And if it's revealed that the Dark Order are the people who actually attacked Colt, then
I think that's
storyline.
I think that's exactly what's going to be coming down the pipe. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? AEW could do a swerve. And Uno's role is really interesting to me here. I think that, man, what a great about face for the Dark Order. In general, you think like just over a year ago, they were like, "Who are you, chance?" And now it's this.
Well, it's funny. They actually on Dark they set up a reason why Uno wasn't in the match, but they didn't really. They had announced the match beforehand, so like I wonder if it was just like things were done out of order. But like in their match on Dark, Uno actually hurts his wrist and sells it at the end of the match, like he's hurt, to sort of explain why he isn't in this match.
I mean, either way, I think it's great because I think Grayson and Brody like worked really well together, and also I think getting more ring time for Brody Lee is always a good thing. Like he doesn't have to just be the guy who's standing on the outside in a suit, right?
Totally.
Yeah. Though at the same time, wrestling sartorialist, taking Joaquin's gimmick.
Yeah.
Just wear tights. Just wear regular tights, dude. You don't need the indie pants.
I don't mind him. I really don't.
Yeah,
But he should steal 10's look.
Oh, it's awesome. Looks great.
Like Preston Vance looks like a star.
Yeah, he doesn't need to hide his like. Again, we're all body guys here.
We are big body guys, Frank.
So yeah, Stu Grayson looks great in this match. JR puts him over huge. He's always dug Stu Grayson. The side thing saying Scorpio Sky is going to focus on singles on commentary is also intriguing to me.
I think that's the first time they announced that on the main show. Yeah.
Yeah. This is all good stuff. Sorry.
And also in the lead up to this match, we get Colt Cabana actually referring to Brody Lee as Mr. Brody. Like he's all in. Yeah,
and I love the celebration at the end too. Like he's he's all he's like all happy and stuff. I thought I had a screenshot of that. I don't.
Well, not to steal his thunder, but I believe it was Sir Sam on Twitter had a great point about Colt Cabana, that he's basically the Tom Cruise of the Dark Order. That he's going to be their like happy frontman.
Oh my god, that's so smart.
Which I think is genius if that's the way they're going. And again, I don't want to steal it.
That's so
all credit where credit's due.
Spat everywhere. I'm losing my mind. It's so smart. I love it. Giving Colt the pin is great storytelling. But yeah, moving on because we got a main event coming up, and I was meant to wrap this up a little while ago. But
all right,
I get talking about wrestling. I get all worked up.
I know, Frank. It's hard, and it's been so long.
Yeah. I love that Big Swole and Britt Baker can have an angle when Britt Baker physically can't wrestle, and it's still really entertaining. Yeah. Like her and Rebel screaming at each other is hilarious.
Very good.
While the guy fans them.
Yes, the guy with the palm.
Yeah, selling the nose.
What does she say? She said, "Get those palms away from me. I ain't Jesus."
Yeah,
that was a pretty good one.
all good stuff. But main event time.
Yes, sir.
This match is the promise of AEW, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Orange Cassidy is a popular wrestler that people love, and we get to see him have a match with Chris Jericho. Imagine this with a crowd, though. Just imagine.
Well, I think that's why that ultimately Orange Cassidy doesn't win. They're saving that moment for when there's a crowd. Yeah. So this is like a pretty old school match by Jericho. This is a big time main event with kind of like a twisty finish. So Cassidy wants to do it on his own. He mostly does his Cassidy stuff and gets beat down. Santana and Ortiz get him pissed off, though. Yep.
And that's kind of like the undoing for Chris Jericho for like a lot of the match. But I love the stuff where like the delayed vertical suplex, Orange rallies, Jericho shuts it down. Like Aubrey forcing the rope break so Orange can take over with a hip toss.
Yes. But see, that was odd to me that she didn't break it immediately. I'll say that much.
Yeah. She counted and then, it wasn't going to happen. So she's a lenient referee. She's trying to be fair.
She's one of the more lenient referees in the company. Yeah.
Yeah. Orange Cassidy's rally at the end with the roll out of the walls of Jericho and that huge like, strike. Amazing. Santana Ortiz make their presence known, throw the juice in the face, best friends are out, feuds on. Orange Cassidy got given so much in this finish, though. He gets hit with
when he kicked out after the bat shot. I was like, "Oh, he might actually win this." Like they made me believe. They really did.
I was actually eating lunch while I was watching this. I saw the bat and the code breaker, and I actually looked away.
Right, you're like, "Oh, that's it." Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you got me. Like they sort of got me. Cassidy. So the only static in the finish for me, I thought the finish was great. Was like Jericho just hit a regular back elbow, not a Judas effect, and that can kind of get like a little confusing. Jericho should be using a back elbow ever other than the Judas effect. And we've joked about this on TIA like where Chris Jericho used to do like back elbows off the second rope, like back in the day a lot.
Yep.
And it's just a transition move. But
top rope Judas effect.
Yeah. But man, that rally at the end, I thought it could happen. But yeah. I'm glad it didn't, and I'm glad they saved it. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's amazing how far Orange Cassidy's come within the last year. From being a geek, doing his big spot during like the Casino Battle Royal, to now having a main event, Dynamite match with Chris Jericho and holding his own, kicking out of 2 of Chris Jericho's finishers, or breaking out of the walls of Jericho and kicking out of one of the finishers, and only being stopped by the new super finish. Like Jericho, like he's a star. He's a real star, and it's amazing. And people were concerned that like maybe Orange is a gimmick, and but can he have a normal match outside of his normal comedy stuff? And it's like, no, this all works. Like for me, the whole thing is distilled in when he used his own slow kick bit
and then hit the super kick.
To hit the super kick. I was like, oh, this is the promise of this character. That's what this character is.
Yeah, and just fantastic, and I'm so happy for him. I'm so glad that this is what Jericho does with his career.
Yeah.
And like you think about, this could have been like the Fandango thing, right?
Right.
Chris Jericho Fandango at WrestleMania, but like WWE just doesn't know how to treat characters like that, like weird gimmicky characters. But yeah, Los, you're right. This is a pure Fyter Fest main event.
Yeah. No, it's
something
a good call.
Weird. Just something weird.
If Fyter Fest is just the weird show every year, I'm here for it. That's great.
It's super fun. But guys, I gotta call it here. I
gotta get your dinner.
It's true. I'm running late. But man, what a Fyter Fest as a whole. What a great couple weeks of wrestling. And next week we got Fight for the Fallen, so it just seems like Fyter Fest is continuing for a third week, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm that card is stacked. Like FTR
ridiculous.
and Lucha Bros, let's go.
Oh, dude, just seeing FTR and Lucha Bros in the same ring together was like crazy to me. Like, I am excited. I want to be back next week. I think we're gonna.
I would love that, Frank.
I'm feeling it. So if you guys want to try and join us on like Thursday, that's the ideal day. Or if Friday works better for you, maybe we'll try Fridays. You guys let us know.
As long as we're in quarantine, Friday's a totally fine day.
Yeah. I am so pumped for this. So pumped for next week. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Also, new episodes of This Is Awesome, our podcast at thisisawesomepod.com, are coming out weekly-ish. 2 weeks? Every 2 weeks?
Weekly, Mondays.
Yeah. They're coming out. I think they're the best work that we've done. If you go to thisisawesomepod.com, you can check them out. We really appreciate it. Leave a review on iTunes, please. We love that. Like, not even the 5 stars thing. You can rate 5 stars, whatever. Like, I would love to just see, like, a review and a match for us to watch, because that's, like, the thing that keeps us going. We actually have a thread up on reddit.com/r/WrestlingGenius, the Wrestling Genius subreddit, where a bunch of people are suggesting great matches to us. You could also join that conversation, too. It's a really cool forum run by Chris Hero. But, yeah. Until next time. Thank you again. I am just overjoyed to be on this show again, talk about wrestling with you all. So yeah, let's do it again soon.
We should.
So yeah, until next time, watch Elite.
Watch Elite.
All right, catch you boys later. Goodbye and good pussy outro.
Bye, gang.